women cannot resist certain men over 60. And before you jump to conclusions, let me ask you some honest questions. Have you ever wondered why a young, attractive, confident woman feels intrigued by a man who is already over 60? Because there are glances that last longer than normal, silences full of intention, smiles that appear without reason when he enters a room, and most importantly, why almost no one talks about this honestly? Write it right now in the comments. Do you think attraction has to do with age or something much deeper? The truth is uncomfortable for many young men. Not all women seek youth, impulsiveness, or uncontrolled energy. Many seek something that only time, experience, and loss can teach. And this is where certain men over 60 become irresistible, without even trying, because they no longer compete, chase, or beg for attention. And that absence of need creates a brutal magnetism. A man who has lived long enough no longer speaks to impress. He speaks because he has something to say. He does not promise. He demonstrates. He does not react emotionally like a wounded teenager. He responds calmly, with presence, with a silent confidence that tells a female subconscious, here is stability. Here is refuge. Here is a man who does not break. And that sense of emotional security triggers a deep attraction that comes not from the body, but from the nervous system. These men have learned to be alone without feeling empty, and that is why, when they choose a woman, it is not from lack, but from choice. They do not seek to be completed, and paradoxically, that makes them appear whole in her eyes. Furthermore, there is something almost no one dares to say. A mature man who knows himself does not try to control a woman, does not invade, pressure, or rush her. He lets her be, and that freedom is addictive because most young men want to possess, while these men know how to support. They have seen enough of the world to neither idealize nor demonize women. They understand them as complex human beings, with lights and shadows, and that understanding generates respect. And where there is respect, attraction grows silently. Another key point is that these men no longer seek external validation. They do not need to prove their worth in every conversation. They do not brag, exaggerate, or compete with other men. And this absence of noisy ego creates a space where the woman can relax, lower her guard, and feel feminine without judgment. And when a woman can relax with a man, her interest naturally increases. That is why many women say, I don't know what it is, but he makes me feel calm. Psychologically, that phrase is a sign of deep attraction. Moreover, an older man who has worked on his mind and character has something that cannot be bought. Perspective. He knows that problems pass, emotions change, storms do not last forever, and he transmits that calm without saying a single word. Even his body language is different. He does not move anxiously. He does not invade space. His presence is firm, grounded, and the female body perceives it before the rational mind. Now, tell me honestly in the comments, do you think this type of attraction can be learned, or does it only come with age? Here's the powerful part. Not all men over 60 are attractive. Only those who use time to grow, not to become bitter. Those who transform pain into wisdom, failure into character, and loneliness into self-knowledge. And if you are listening now, no matter your age, you can start today to build that kind of masculine presence that does not chase, beg, or explain. It is simply felt. If this content makes you think, like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who still believes attraction is only about youth. In the next video, we will go deeper and reveal why many women trust these men faster, and how that trust completely changes the dynamics of attraction. If you've understood so far how certain men over 60 generate effortless attraction, get ready, because we're entering a zone almost no one dares to explain. Silent confidence. This confidence is not built with pretty words, but with consistency. It is precisely here that many women start to feel emotionally connected to these men without realizing it. A man who has lived enough no longer promises unrealistic futures or sells fantasies. He simply shows who he is. And that congruence between what he thinks, says, and does create a powerful impact on the female mind. A woman can detect in a second whether a man is acting to please or being authentic. And men who have done the inner work no longer act, exaggerate, or force interest. They let silence do the work. And that comfortable silence is extremely rare today, when almost everyone fears being alone with their own thoughts. When a woman perceives that a man is not afraid of silence, she unconsciously interprets that he also does not fear loneliness, abandonment, or rejection, placing him automatically in a position of emotional strength. Furthermore, these men understand something many young men do not. Attraction is not negotiated or pursued. It is triggered through stability. That is why they do not react with jealousy, control, checking, or pressure. They trust, and that trust acts like a mirror, inviting the woman to trust as well. Another key point: these men do not try to impress intellectually or dominate the conversation. They genuinely listen, ask questions beyond the superficial, remember details, and when they speak, they do so from experience, not theory, creating a sense of guidance, orientation, and calm leadership that many women find deeply attractive. Now, ask yourself and write honestly in the comments: how many men do you know who truly listen without interrupting, without immediately advising, without trying to fix everything? Exactly. Very few, which is why they stand out. An emotionally mature older man does not compete with other men for female attention. He does not compare himself nor enter games, because he knows his value does not depend on external validation, and that internal security is perceived even before he says a word. His posture, his walking pace, the way he looks, all communicates calm and inner mastery, and it activates in many women a sense of emotional protection that goes far beyond physical attraction. That is why it is not rare for a woman to say, "I feel different when I am with him," because what she feels is not chaotic adrenaline. It is regulation, stability, rest. Emotional rest is one of the deepest forms of attraction. Now, tell me something important in the comments. Do you think this kind of masculine presence is being lost in today's society? If this content resonates with you, if you feel these truths are being said that almost no one explains, like now, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. In the next chapter, I will reveal the silent mistake many older men make that destroys this entire attraction in seconds, and how to avoid it before it's too late.